Hi, everybody. My name is Renée Deneen, and I am honored to be part of the program this year. The title of my talk is Cultivating Confidence from the Inside Out. So we've all heard this saying that confidence comes from within or confidence is key. But if you are someone who has maybe never felt confident or comes in and out of feeling confident, those words, well, with good intention, can really make it overwhelming, can become almost feeling like another task, something else we need to do. And so this talk today is really here to offer you hope that confidence is something that is cultivated from within, that you can have it when you need it, and that it authentically can be built over time. However, that's the good news. The challenging news might be that before we can become truly confident, we have to dig deep and we have to work on ourselves constantly. So that confidence, again, is something that is really a natural extension of who we are. It's very linked to your authenticity. It's very linked to you and living on purpose. And it is absolutely expressed in our everyday life, depending on how we want to show up in the world. So it's not for the faint at heart, but it's absolutely possible that everyone can feel confident. So I'm an organizational psychologist, and I have been studying human beings, particularly leadership and team. But I have been studying human beings for 25 years. And I got super interested in this idea of confidence because, people would say to me, "Oh, Renée, you're so confident." And I was like, "I am, like, of course I have an inner critic. Sometimes she's huge. In general, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty confident. But what is confidence really? Is it just a quality, right? Does it come from within at all? Or is it something that is reinforced from the outside in? Are some people born with it, right? Alluding to this idea that it's more of a personality trait. And, if you've never felt confident, if that's just not something that has been part of your experience yet, can you really develop it? Can you really get it? So I mined a search, and my findings were really a mix between validation, right, and surprise. What was clear is that confidence is not something that we wake up each day hoping to find. It's something that we commit to in our daily lives, and we build it from the inside out. The most important finding, however, is that, as I mentioned, and I really want you to hear this and believe this, is that any healthy human being can become authentically confident depending on how they choose to live their day-to-day life. And so I defined what I've called 5 non-traditional precursors to confidence, which are all about how we live our life. These are qualities, more like ways of being that almost all truly confident people I've ever met have cultivated. These qualities or precursors really take you on a journey to not simply build confidence, but inspire more purposeful and authentic ways of living and leading that can be expressed in every area of your life. And this life is not a life that is chosen by others. Hopefully, this life is a life that is shaped and chosen by you. So the 5 non-traditional precursors to confidence are: first, live deeply; second, value connection; 3, welcome growth; the 4th is be intentional; and the 5th is show up fully. And I'm going to go into each of these to bring them more to life. But first, let me just say a little bit about my own story and how it relates to this topic of confidence and how it really landed me on this journey to discover where it comes from. So I am an organizational psychologist. I have been leading teams and organizations for over 25 years in the high-tech and biotech industry. And about 5 years ago, I left to start my own practice and really rebalance my life. And part of that rebalancing was really acknowledging how my 20 plus years of doing had really landed me in a place where I was putting my own authenticity, my own health, and my own confidence at risk. Why did I do that? Well, frankly speaking, I was pretty complicit. I was complicit in being a leader who portrayed success as constantly overdoing, constantly creating, constantly pushing, striving. I thought that was what the world was asking of me, to be that person and to model that for other people. I was also complicit for more selfish reasons, right? The money was great. The accolades were awesome. The trips were beautiful. And it was nice to be noticed. And so a lot of my identity got shaped by what I did, not by who I was. And before the pain had even dried, I was already planning and jumping to the next something, right? Whatever that was at that time. And however, it's like no matter what I did, it never felt enough. And at this point in my life, after 5 years of being on this journey of undoing my doing life, um, I refuse to live one more day as that person or to mirror that back as success to anyone else. However, I absolutely value, and I think pursuing a life where you feel confident in who you are and how you show up in the world is absolutely worthy of taking. And I hope that by the end of this talk, you feel inspired to believe that as well. So, the impact on me, in addition to some health issues that I suffered, I had a stutter and I had some tremors that I had to work through, which my doctor thought was multiple sclerosis. It wasn't, it was stress. So basically, I'd done that to myself. And in doing that, I had really lost confidence that someday I would arrive, right? That someday it would feel enough, that I wouldn't need that next thing to make me feel confident. And so in that process, I had lost touch with my sense of worth. I put my authenticity at risk. I lost balance. I was a workaholic. And, why? Because work was my primary source of identity. So it felt really scary to mess with that. And ultimately, I gave up my power to choose for myself. And I don't wish this for anybody. This is not a healthy or inspiring way to live. And so what do I do instead? Well, first and foremost, I keep learning and I keep growing and I keep reflecting on my own experience. And that is hopefully through that deep process of my own journey, I'm able to bring you some ideas and some ways of thinking about confidence that can benefit you in your life. So let's now go through these each one by one. The first is to live deeply. Confidence comes from knowing that we are living the life that we're meant to live and that we're willing to live it super alive in ways that are deep, like triple clicking on things, right? Like we're willing to look deeper, think deeper, learn deeper, and live deeper into the life that shows up right in front of us. And too often we're either looking back or looking ahead. And yet we know that the present moment offers most of what we need to learn and experience. So confident people live deeply. Confident people also value connection. In fact, they value connection almost over anything else. They show up to connect, they show up to engage. They're not playing a role, they're not trying to please you. They don't care about being smart. They often don't care about being right. And they certainly worry less about what people think of them and worry more about how people feel when they are with them. Vulnerability is a requirement of living a confident, really showing up confidently means that something shows up, it has an impact on us, likely emotionally, and we're willing to lean and stay with that until we understand what it's there to teach us. And when we do that, confidence grows with each intimate connection we make. We really learn to trust ourselves and the world around us in deeper and more life-changing ways. So confident people value connection. Number three, confident people welcome growth. They look for growth. They embrace growth. They look at their life as a journey towards self-actualization. It isn't so much about the destination. It is about the journey. It's the steps taken, the small moments in between, the big stuff. All of that matters to confident people. Mindsets, feelings, instincts, we know as confident people, those want to organically shift. They want to expand. They want to come and go. And we hold loosely and we let go when needed. And that is the journey. That's the cycle of growth. It's being willing to sort of come and go, come in and out of your experience so that you can be shaped by it. Because the minute we stop growing, the minute we stop learning, we lose confidence. And in addition, the more we learn, the more we care, right? The more we care, the more we show up in ways that we most intend. Number four, confident people are intentional. They embrace their life wholeheartedly and with great intention, great care, and great courage. They're present. They're with you. They want to be seen, and they want you to feel equally seen. They build that capacity in their day-to-day life, whether that's through mindfulness practice or some other intention. They say what they mean, and they mean what they say. They're honest. They're straightforward. They're wholehearted. they treat themselves well, right? We teach people how to treat us. And so confident people treat themselves well. And when we do that, we exude confidence. And that is not always something that is as obvious to us. Sometimes we think that we need to show up and treat others a certain way, but it starts first with how we treat ourselves. And then that grace and that compassion and that adoration then can flow to the other people that you meet and come into contact with in your life. And the last one, confident people show up fully. They're brave. They're brave enough to do the deeper work required to live a life of their choosing. They know it won't be easy. There will be detours, there will be mistakes, there will be misunderstandings, but they're okay with that. They know that that is part of the journey, that is part of the process. And they don't wish for confidence, they work for confidence. And this is really, this last one really is probably the most important one to remember, because when we don't allow ourselves to show up, when we play small or we hold back or we step back, we lose confidence immediately. Something happens within us that tells us the world is not as safe as we thought, or we're not as good as we thought, and we back off. And so, as the number 5 on this list, I really want to invite you to just show up, to be you, to lean in, to play big, and to welcome the rest, welcome the pauses, welcome the in betweens. Allow that to be a rhythm, not a drum beat. And last but not least, confident people worry less and therefore live more. So give yourself the freedom to not worry about what's next. Give yourself the invitation to just be with what is in this present moment. So the last thing I want to just connect the dots on, I mentioned it earlier in the talk, is this idea that purpose, authenticity, and confidence are all related. Our purpose, not something we wake up to and kind of hope will be there. It's something that confident people stay connected to in their daily life. And the truth is, we can't pursue our purpose inauthentically. It's almost impossible. And yet, authenticity is not just knowing who we are, but it's understanding that our actions reflect to others, how we show up in the world in our day-to-day lives, the qualities we embody, what we say, how we think, how we treat others, communicates to them who we are more vividly than anything else. And every time we take on something new, every time we do something that doesn't quite fit, when we say yes when we meant no, we lose confidence in ourselves. We lose confidence in our ability to choose, and we lose confidence in our ability to be seen in the ways that we most intend. And therefore, other people lose confidence in us as well. And so I have a closing mantra I'd love you to consider for this year, and that is to say to yourself as many times as you need until you absolutely believe it: this is a life of my choosing. I am confidently authentic and dedicated to living my purpose with courage, intention, and grace. That's my wish for you this year. It's been great to be with you. And I hope that you found the nugget of inspiration that you need next for your journey to continue. Thank you.